एव पदारविन्दं प्रपन्नतापोपशमातपत्रम् यन्मूलकेतायतयोऽञ्जसोरु संसारदुःखं बहिरुत्क्षिपन्ति देवाऊचु नमामते देवपदारविन्दम् प्रपन्नतापोपशमातपत्रम् यन्मूलकेतायतयोऽञ्जसोरु संसारदुःखं बहिरुत्क्षिपन्ति देवाऊचु नमते देवपदारविन्दम् पदारविन्दम् प्रपन्नतापोपशमातपत्रम् प्रपन्नतापोपशमातपत्रम् संसारदुःखं बहिरुत्क्षिपन्ति. Vaishnavis, Devauchuhu दुःखं बहिरुत्क्षिपन्ति देवाऊचुः Word for word translations. Deva Uchuhu, the demigod said, Namama, we offer our respectful obeisances. Te, your, Deva, O Lord, Padaravindam, lotus feet. Prapanna, surrendered. Tapa, distress. Upashama, suppresses. Atapatram, umbrella. Yat Mulaketa, shelter of the lotus feet. Yatayaha, great sages. Anjasa, totally. Uru, great. Samsara Dukkham, miseries of material existence. Bahihi, out. Uchchipanti, forcibly throw. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The demigod said, O Lord, your lotus feet are like an umbrella for the surrendered souls, protecting them from all the miseries of material existence. All the sages under that shelter throw off all material miseries. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet. Purport. There are many sages and saints who engage in trying to conquer rebirth and all other material miseries, but of all of them, those who take shelter under the lotus feet of the Lord can completely throw off all such miseries without difficulty. Others who are engaged in transcendental activities in different ways cannot do so. For them, it is very difficult. They may artificially think of becoming liberated without accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, but that is not possible. One is sure to fall again to the material existence from such false liberation, even though one may have undergone severe penances and austerities. This is the opinion of the demigods, who are not only well versed in Vedic knowledge but are also seers of the past, present, and future. The opinions of the demigods are valuable because the demigods are authorized to hold positions in the affairs of universal management. They are appointed by the Lord as His confidential servants. Om Agyan Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, welcoming everyone to our daily Srimad Bhagavatam class and seeking blessings from all the Vaishnavas so that I can speak something in the service of the Srimad Bhagavatam for the glorification of the Lord and for my purification. So Srimad Bhagavatam is like a vast ocean which has many, many jewels and gems of deep understanding of the Lord's beauty, His sweetness, His magnanimity, His Bhakta Vatsalya, and a devotee's character. The Lord's qualities and the devotees' qualities, these jewels of the Lord's qualities and devotees' qualities, they are there at the bottom of this ocean of Bhakti Rasa in the Srimad Bhagavatam. And we all, as scuba divers, are attempting to dive into this ocean to see if we can pick up some jewel and become rich in our bhakti. So this is our small attempt. So today, one particular jewel which shines brilliantly in the ocean of Srimad Bhagavatam is being manifested through this verse here. And that jewel is the jewel of Sharanagati, of absolute surrender to the Lord. And here we see the Devatas are praying, Namamate Deva Padarvinda Prapanna Tapo Pashamatapatram. That, O Lord, those who seek shelter of your lotus feet, Prapanna. So that Prapanna or Prapati is the word which means that taking shelter or surrendering or Sharanagati. Lord is described, his Uttama Shloka, and he is described many places as Prapanna Palaya. Prapanna Palaya means someone who protects those who have taken shelter unto his lotus feet. Prapanna Arati Hara. Prapanna Arati Hara, those who are suffering in the material existence, the threefold miseries, he steals away, he takes away all of their sufferings. Right? So Lord has this characteristic of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet, he gives them Abhayam Sarvada Tasmai. He gives them fearlessness. So this verse particularly, the Devatas are saying, those who take shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, they are indemnified from all fears, all the dangers, all the miseries of this material existence. And if we look at the 9 processes of bhakti, Sharanagati is one of them. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atmanivedanam. Atmanivedanam is surrender, Sharanagati. Oh Lord, I am offering myself unto you. I am taking your shelter. When we come into the temple hall, what is the first thing that we do? We offer ourselves, Dandavat Pranam, surrender. Like, so that surrender, even while you are standing and doing surrender, but then when you prostrate yourself and surrender, you have, first of all, your hands are outstretched, means you have nothing in your hands. And literally we have nothing in our hands. We think that I will do this, I can do this, but then we tell the Lord, we tell Srila Prabhupada that there's nothing in my hands, I am helpless. And I am taking shelter of you, and therefore this Sashtang Pranam that we do, we offer our 8 limbs in surrender. We offer our feet, our knees, our chest, our arms, our head, our eyesight, our words. Namam Vishnupadaya, Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale. So we offer our words, and then we offer our mind, that I belong to you. So that Sharanagati is, we see that right from any element of bhakti, any limb of bhakti, although it is one of the 9 limbs, but actually this Sharanagati is the life air of all other limbs of bhakti also. If we chant without taking shelter, without Sharan, then it is just Nam Akshara Hoye, Nam Na Hoye. It is just murmuring some syllables, but it is not actually chanting the holy name. When we are hearing Katha, we are doing Shravanam, it is in the spirit of Sharanagati. And then that hearing becomes actual potent hearing. Parikshit Maharaj wasn't hearing casually. He was hearing with the spirit of Sharanagati. And therefore, when he was hearing in this way, what he says to Shukadeva Goswami is concerned, it has been, 3 days you haven't eaten or, drunk anything, no water, no food. Parikshit Maharaj is saying, don't worry about it. Na ashyati dussaha shunmam tyaktodam api badate pibantam tvat mukhan bojham chutam harikathamritam. By drinking the nectar of this harikatha, I have completely forgotten and I'm oblivious of all hunger and thirst. Right? So this was the mood of hearing, and we also listen in the Bhagavad Mahatmya that how Dundukari, he heard the ghost Dundikari, he heard the Bhagavatam, and then everyone else in the village, they also heard Bhagavatam, but only Dundukari got liberated because he heard in utmost spirit of Sharanagati, because he was helpless in the form of a ghost. So he really wanted to take shelter. Whereas the rest, the Vaikuntha Viman didn't come for the rest. So they asked Gokarna, why is it that we didn't get liberated? So then the answer was because we didn't hear with Sharanagati. And then the next time they heard with Sharanagati, and for everyone, the Vaikuntha Viman came, and all of the villagers, everyone went back home, back to Godhead. Right? So this is what is the life here, the prana vayu of all other limbs of bhakti, whether it is chanting, whether it is hearing, when it is done with the spirit of Sharanagati, taking shelter, then that becomes so potent. And then we can actually experience the cooling shade and shelter. Right? Many times as devotees, we wonder that I have been practicing devotional service for so many years, but still, why are the miseries of material existence still tormenting me? Why am I still tormented by anger, lust, greed, envy, insecurity, fears, all of these things? Why am I always anxious? Am I practicing bhakti or not? Right? So the key to opening the lock of the AC room of Sharanagati. We are outside suffering in the miseries of material existence, right? And we are at the door, right at the door, where we can feel the cooling shade of the lotus feet of the Lord, but we don't have the key. And that key is Sharanagati. When we open that lock of Sharanagati, then we can enter and experience the cooling shade of this lotus feet of the Lord. The Bhagavatam, in this same sequence of verses, the Devatas will be praying, Marganti yatte mukha padma nilai chandai suparne rishayo vivekte yasyagamarsho dasaridvaraya param padam tirthapada prapanna. Again, Sharanagati. What is being mentioned here? That someone, a traveler, is lost in a desert where there are no trees, no vegetation, the hot sun is just bearing out its heat, and one is completely exhausted, emaciated, fatigued, and parched, and that condition one is desperately looking for water and shade, otherwise one will die. And it says this is the condition of every jivatma in this material world. Now, what is the secret? How can this traveler find shelter, find water? And these devatas, they are saying that a traveler who is seasoned, he knows how to find water and how to find shade and shelter. What does he do? That traveler sees, are there any birds? And if he sees any bird flying in the sky, he sees which direction did the birds go. Because the birds, they can have a bird's eye view. I can just see that hopelessness in front of me. I can't see any solution in front of me, but those birds flying high up in the sky, they have a bird's eye view. They can see where is the lake, where is the oasis, where are the trees around it. And then they will follow that direction of the birds. So the devatas are saying, what is this bird? Chanda Suparnai, the words of the Vedas, the words emanating from the lotus mouth of the devotees, the instructions of the devotees, they are these birds. And these birds, if you follow these birds, if you follow the instructions of the Vedas, where do we arrive? Where are the birds going? They are going to their shelter. From where does the Vedic hymns emanate? From the lotus mouth of the Lord. The Bhagavad Gita, Mukha Padma Nihisritam, Yam Tatha Padmanabhasya Mukha Padma Nihisrita. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita has emanated from the lotus lips of the Lord. So these words of Vedas, where are they coming from? If you trace them back, where they will take you? To the nest of the lotus face of the Lord. Right? So the birds are looking for their nest. They reach their nest, and if you follow those birds, you will also reach that tree. But we can't go and climb on that face, right? On the nest. What do we need? The tree is there, and at the shade, at the foot of that tree, is where the traveler will find his or her shelter, under the shade of that tree. Is it not? So this tree, Lord is compared to the tree here, and his face is like the nest for the birds of the Vedas and the pure devotees. But we, the conditioned souls, we are interested in taking shelter of the lotus feet of the Lord, right? And there we'll find cooling shade, and there will be cooling breezes blowing, right? Imagine you are parched in that desert and you come here. First of all, there is shade, and outside it is such tormenting heat and oppressive heat and all the hot waves, air is blowing. But then when you come under that tree, the cooling breezes are blowing. Ye tu tvadiya charanam bhujakosha gandham jigranti karna vivarai shrutivata bhaktya grihita charana paraya chatesham na paisinatha hrudayam burahat swapamsam. So when a conditioned soul comes to take shelter of this lotus feet of the Lord, the breezes of Hari Katha, Shruti they enter one's ears, and the breezes are mixed with the fragrance of the lotus feet of the Lord, and then taking those breezes, the cooling breezes, which are mixed with the dust particles, saffron dust particles of the lotus feet of the Lord, one feels relieved. And these breezes, they just don't cool you from outside. Generally, the breezes cool you from outside. But these are special breezes. They cool you from inside also. Because Shutrit Tridhatu Ima Muhur Ardemana Shitoshna Vata Varshe Itare Taracha Kamagnena Achutarasha Sudur Barena Sampashyato Mama Mana Urukrama Sidate. Brahmaji is saying that in this world there is tormenting, oppressive heat waves from the outside and from inside. And the Jivatma is crushed in between. From the outside there are these Adibhautik and Adhyatmic kleshas from other living entities and the destiny, whatever happens to us. But then there is Adhyatmic. From inside also we are suffering from lust, anger, envy, greed, pride, all of these things. So these cooling breezes of the Shruti, they go through the ears, Karana Vivarai, through the holes of the ears, and then establish the cooling presence of the Lord in your heart. And this cooling presence, it actually steals away all the fever of material existence. As Rukmini Devi is praying, Shrutva gunan bhuvana sundara shinvatamte nirvishya karna vivarai haratonga tapam. By hearing about your glories, about your beauty, it has had the effect of reducing the fever of material existence. So you become cool from outside and from inside. Right? Therefore, we have AC in our temple hall, so that you are cooled from outside and from inside by hearing Harikatha. So the thing is that anyone who takes shelter, Lord has promised that he will attain this cooling effect. But why is it that we are not getting this cooling effect? Because probably we haven't been able to take shelter. We don't have the key right now. We have come to the right door, and we know inside it is cool. Even if you stand outside the temple hall when there's AC, outside also you know, andar kafi cool hai, right? But then the doors are locked. You want to get inside. Sharanagati, you need to take shelter of the devotee. Prabhuji, please. Main kahin bhi ghus jaunga, right? So how do we do this Sharanagati? First of all, we have to understand that we are taking shelter of so many things. It is not that we don't know how to take shelter. We already know how to take shelter, but we are taking shelter of the wrong things. And if we realize who is the right personality to take shelter of, that is the solution to all our problems. And Lord is therefore described as Sharanya. He is the one who is who ought to be taken shelter of. So someone whom you want to take shelter of, first of all, they should be capable of giving us shelter. First of all, they should have strength, they should have power. You can't ask shelter from a weak person, right? If a thief is behind you, you can't ask another, you go to the police, right? So you go to a powerful person. So Bhagavad Gita Krishna says, Devi hi esha gunamami mama maya duratya mameva ye prapadyante maya metam tarindate. Again, those who take shelter of Krishna, Krishna is saying, you just take shelter of me. Devi esha gunamai. This powerful Maya Shakti, she is mine. I'll take care. Don't worry. Right? And Tesham aham samudharta mrityu samsara sagrada. So he has given enough assurances that I am capable to deliver you. Okay, you are capable, but you might be so busy, you might be so, happy with your devotees and doing your things. Krishna says, I am not just capable, I am committed also. He says, the prayers of Gajendra, he says, Madrik prapanna pashupasha vimokshanaya muktaya bhuri karunaya namo lalaya namo alayaya. So laya means laziness. And he's describing Krishna as, the Lord as, he's namo alayaya. Alayaya is not lazy in delivering his devotees, and how Lord demonstrated his commitment when Gajendra was crying out for the Lord. He raised that lotus, he took shelter, he did prapatti to the Lord. Lord came swooping down on the Garuda, but then he felt the Garuda's speed is less, my devotee is suffering, I need to do something. He jumped down from the Garuda and started running faster than Garuda to come to protect Gajendra. So Lord is not just capable, he is committed to deliver us. But then generally those who are capable and committed, they have their inner circle. I'll do things, but for my people, for those who are my favorites. So Krishna has his favorites, so he will probably just give shelter to them. But no, Krishna, Uddhava describes what kind of a personality he is. Aho bakiyam stanakala kutam jigam sayapayadapi asadhavi lebhe gatim dhatrimuchitam tatonya kamva dayalum sharanam vrajema sharanam. Of whom else should I take shelter? Who else is more merciful, magnanimous? That someone who had come to give poison to Krishna, Krishna gave her the position of Dhatri in the spiritual world. So, do we have any doubts that, okay, Krishna will have nepotism, only his devotees? No. Even someone comes to him to give him poison, Krishna will give them liberation. There was this saying, तुम मुझे खून दो मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा. Krishna is saying, तुम मुझे जहर दो तो भी मैं तुम्हें आज़ादी दूंगा. So whatever you give to Krishna, you just come to Krishna. Krishna is committed to deliver us because he is most compassionate. Kamva dayalum. And even a little a devotee does for him, Krishna magnifies it, as Sudama Brahmana is saying, Kinchit karoti uru api yat swadattam suhrit kritam falgu api bhurikari. I did a little. Mayopanitam pratukaika mushtim. I just brought a handful of, this chipped rice, and Krishna gave me all the opulences. So that is Krishna. He is Sharanyam. And he demonstrated in the episode of Vibhishana Sharanagati. Everyone was doubting. We may have doubts. Will Krishna accept me with all the background that I bring, with all the demoniac background that I bring? So Krishna, Lord Ram, he said, Sakradeva prapannoyam tavasmi iti yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadami etad vatam mama. If once only a person comes and says, even Ravan comes and tells me that I take shelter, Krishna will give him fearlessness. Lord Ram will give him fearlessness. So that is the quality, the magnanimity, the personality of the person we are wanting to take shelter of. And Lord Ram, in fact, even before the battle was fought, he not only gave Sharanagati to Vibhishan, he also did the Rajyabhishek of Vibhishan then and there. Ki, I declare you to be the king of Lanka, and we are going to defeat Ravan. And then someone asked, but Lord Ram, what if Ravan, because you made the promise, if Ravan even comes, you will give Sharanagati, so where will you send him? What kingdom will you give him? So Lord Ram said, well, not an issue. 14 years are about to be over. I will give Ravan the kingdom of Ayodhya. I'll give my own kingdom to Ravan. But then, Lord, where will you go again? To the forest. So Krishna, Lord Ram, tells his address. Naham tishtami vaikunthe yoginam hridayeshu va yatra gayanti madbhakta tatra tishtami narada. He says, I don't need any shelter. I am not in Vaikuntha. My devotees take shelter of me, but where do I take shelter? I take shelter in association of devotees when they are chanting and hearing my glories. So that is my address, right, on the Aadhaar card. So that is the address of the Lord, where he stays. So he is someone, what a loving and lovable person, who is giving, he is capable, he is committed, who is compassionate, and he is so kind. So knowing this, who would not surrender to Krishna? Akrur, he says, he is praying that, O Lord, kah panditas tvad aparam sharanam samiyad. Who will not surrender to you? Bhakta priya dhritagira suhrida kritagya. You are grateful, truthful, merciful. And sarvan dadati suhrido bhajato abhikaman atmanam api upachapaya cha yasya. That Lord, he gives himself to his devotees. While we as devotees, we want to give ourselves to Krishna, Krishna gives himself. He does samarpan. He gives himself to us. And therefore, this is a personality that we should realize, that if we need to take shelter, we know how to take shelter. We take shelter of things, we take shelter of our designations, about our achievements. But if we take shelter of Krishna, that shelter will never betray us. Right? Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvat dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. What does Sharanagati mean? Ma sucha. No need of worry, no need of fear, no need of anxiety. They say Krishna das sada bindas, like that. A Krishna devotee is always fearless, but we experience fear. Why? Because we haven't understood this Sharanagati. Srila Chakravarti Thakur, in the purport to this verse, he writes that a person who has some horses and cows, he comes to the market, he, sells off those horses and cows. Now, on an ordinary, regular basis, he's always worried, okay, what fodder will I give to my horses to eat, right? There is rain happening. Is there any shelter where my horses and cows can stand? So every day he is worried. But once he has sold off his horses, does he have to worry? Arey, aaj kya khaya hoga unhone? He has already sold off. So Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Arey, you have sold off, devoted yourself to Krishna. Now what are you bothering and worrying about? Krishna has purchased you. Now it is his headache. Why are you having headache? Why are you purchasing unnecessary anxiety? Ma shucha. You have come to Krishna, na? And Krishna is Sharanya. Why are you taking anxiety? So this is the mood Chakravarti Thakur is telling and selling for us to understand, right? So, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing this book of Sharanagati, in which there are more than 30 songs about how do we take shelter. It is no easy business, there is no simple business. It is simple, but we are not simple. So therefore he has written so many songs so that we understand how to take Sharanagati. So he says that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach us this principle of Sharanagati. Atyanta durlabha preme koribare daan shikhaila Sharanagati bhakatera prana. So Lord Chaitanya has come to give that which has never been given, the love of God in the mood of the Braj Gopis. But then, how is he giving that to? By Shikhaila Sharanagati, by teaching how to take shelter and Sharanagati. And to Sanatan Goswami, he gives not just an abstract, touchy-feely understanding of what Sharanagati is. Oh, just take shelter, it will, Krishna is so kind, nice, just take shelter. No. He is giving a philosophical, scientific understanding, step-by-step process of Sharanagati. He has not left something at your imagination and whims and hallucinations. Lord Chaitanya is describing to Sanatana Goswami the 6 limbs of Sharanagati. Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam rakshati vishwaso goptriptve varanam tatha atma nikshepa karpanya shadvida Sharanagati. So these are the 6 limbs of Sharanagati which Lord Chaitanya is teaching Sanatana Goswami. And the next verse, Lord Chaitanya says, Tava asmi iti vadan vacha tathaiva manasa vidan tat sthanam ashrita tanva modate Sharanagata. Once one devotee comes and tells Krishna, I am yours, O Lord, then what happens? Tat sthanam ashrita. He receives shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord. And then what happens? Modate. He is very happy and relieved. Just as a traveler fatigued and he comes to his own home, Swasharanam yatha. He is relieved, so a devotee is fully relieved and happy. So, now in our lives, how do we take this Sharanagati? Okay, these 6 limbs are there, but how do we understand to apply in our lives? So, this is some discussion that we will do. Having understood that we need to take shelter because of our helpless, desperate condition, and the right person, object of our Sharanagati shelter is Krishna. How do we actually exactly do it? What's the key? Right? So triple lock key hai. It's a triple lock key. 1, twice, thrice. Then you will be able to open. Because who is the example of Sharanagati amongst in the 9 limbs? Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj, there were 3 steps which he offered to the Lord. So there are 3 steps of Sharanagati, right? And so what happens exactly in this pastime? Lord Vamana, he comes, he glorifies Bali Maharaj that, oh, first of all, when Vamandev comes, Bali Maharaj understands, this is Vishnu. He is in the disguise of a Brahmana dwarf. He is Vishnu, I know. And Lord Shiva takes the foot wash of his lotus feet on his head. I am going to do the same thing. So immediately Vindhyavali and he get together, wash Lord's lotus feet and sprinkle on his head, right? And then Vamandev is glorifying him that you are guided by the right persons for this life by descendants of Bhrigu, Bhargavas, and you are guided for the future life by Prahlad Maharaj. So you are in the most wonderful situation, Lord is telling. And he glorifies him. And then he says, actually Bali Maharaj asks, so what can I offer you? He says, just 3 steps of land. Bali Maharaj says, what happened? Like you have come to Bali, the Lord, the Lord of the universe. All the 3 worlds are under my subjugation. Ask something bigger. It seems like your body is like a dwarf. Is your intelligence like a dwarf too that you are asking something so small? Vamandev is saying, someone who is not satisfied with what is attained by providence, one will never be satisfied even despite all of one's efforts. Yadrachaya chapannena santushto vartate sukham. So, Vamandev tells this, Bali Maharaj says, so be it. He's going to take the water to, solemnize his vow to give that 3 pieces of land. But then at that time, our Shukracharya, he comes. And he puts the first obstacle in the Sharanagati of Bali. What is it that he says? He says, what you are going to do is a grave mistake. Blunder you are going to commit. This is Vishnu has come to cheat you. And there is no need to give charity or do some sacrifice if you yourself are impoverished. One should only do charity. He's saying, I am quoting Niti Sutras, I am quoting Bhav Smritis. I am quoting Shastras. Don't think that I am just whimsically telling you. I am quoting from the Niti Shastras. This person is going to make you a pauper, and you are obliged to give charity only when you have something. If you are going to lose everything as per the Niti Shastras, it is not recommended. So you do not need to give it. But then what about I have already promised? He says, you didn't chant Om, right? Unless you chant Om, it is not solemnized. So you still have a way out. There are still conditions apply and clauses. I can get you out of it. And he says that under certain circumstances, untruth can be spoken also. What are the circumstances? He gives a list that to flatter a woman, to save a marriage, in just joking with a person, or saving your life, or to protect Brahminical culture of the cows, and in earning your livelihood also sometimes sick leave, right? You have to, just make up things. So he says it's all right. So what is this? He's giving him a moral compass of what is right and what is wrong. He's giving a moral compass based on Niti Shastras that for self-preservation, this is right. You can be untruthful. But then Bali Maharaj, he respectfully receives the advice. But then he says, whatever you have spoken is perfect. But what to do? Where do I come from? What is my lineage? I am the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj. Am I going to, stand up to the legacy and name of Prahlad Maharaj? Right? So he has a different moral compass. He says, Mother Earth, she says, I can bear the weight of anyone except an untruthful person. And he says, anyways, this body is going to fall apart and die. These possessions are anyways going to leave us. Why not use them for something worthwhile, to give charity to a Brahmana? And you are saying this person is Vishnu. I see you Brahmanas, you worship Vishnu. And I am supposed to be your disciple. I should also worship Vishnu, is it not? So what is the harm in worshipping Vishnu? And even if he steals everything away from me, what's the harm? We Kshatriyas, we take pride in giving away our life in the battlefield out of courage. But he says there's a greater, rarer fortune available than laying one's life down on the battlefield for a Kshatriya. And that is, he says, very beautiful. Sulabha yudhi viprarshe hi anivritah tanu tyaja na tatha tirtha ayate shraddhaya ye dhana tyaja. So there is a greater fortune, and that fortune is to give away one's wealth and possession for a saint who is going to create holy places of pilgrimage, tirth pada. So to give charity to a saint who is using that wealth to create a temple or a beautiful place of pilgrimage, that is the success of a life, of one's life. So, we have so much renovation happening here, right? So he's saying that it is worthwhile to engage all one's possession in service of such great souls. So just connecting back to our lives, we come with a certain moral compass of how we determine what is good for us, what is bad for us, what is right, what is wrong. Yes? The first step that we need to take is to change our moral compass. What is right and what is wrong, what are the do's and don'ts. So some people may have the rights and wrongs based on Niti Shastra, how to maximize my enjoyment and minimize my suffering. And for that, using Niti Shastra to do it. Some people may have the compass of Papa and Punya. As per Dharma Shastra, what is Papa, what is Punya? That comprises their compass for decision making. But for a devotee who has taken shelter, who wants to do Sharanagati, neither Niti Shastras nor Dharma Shastra, yes, they are words of truth, but then there is the absolute truth. And when they are in contradiction with absolute truth, then we surrender to the absolute truth. Therefore, what is the absolute truth? Anukulasya sankalpa pratikulasya varjanam. So this is the first step as sadhakas wanting to do Sharanagati, we need to change our moral compass from what is right and wrong based on whether it will give me pleasure or pain, whether it is going to give me piety or sin. No. Even if it is going to give me sin. Ashwatthama hata. Yudhishthir Maharaj, he said Ashwatthama is dead. After a lot of actually hesitation. But then that's what a devotee does. If Krishna says this, I am going to speak untruth. Right? So we surrender to the definition of right and wrong based on what Krishna indicates in our lives. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to teach us Sharanagati. So in Jagannath Puri, when all the devotees come, so they are there, and the first thing in a dham, holy dham, is to take bath, do shaving and do fasting. But then the devotees are fed lot of Mahaprasad. Pratap Nurud Maharaj is confused. How is it happening? That time, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya corrects his compass. He says that Ishwara Paroksha Agya Shaura Uposhan Ishwarera Sakshat Agya Prasada Bhakshan. Lord is personally telling, let go with all the injunctions of what the Vedas are saying, but then this is what the Lord is telling, and this is what is our moral compass. And we see the Vrajavasis also. They wanted to do the Indra Puja because it was their tradition, it was based on the Vedic scriptures, but then Lord Krishna says, no, let us worship Govardhan. Okay, let us let go of our moral compass, and let's do what Krishna deems as fit and right. So in our lives, how do we chant? Because 99% of our spiritual advancement is based on chanting, right? So how do we, uplift our spiritual life? By chanting in Sharanagati, which means Anukulasya, whatever is favorable for our japa, doing it, and whatever is unfavorable, keeping it aside, right? So whatever is favorable, rising up in the morning, having a nice rest, whatever helps you in japa, do it. So that is chanting in Sharanagati. By the way, Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written 4 songs on Anukulasya Sankalpa, 4 songs on Pratikulasya Varjanam, right? He has written Shuddha Bhakta Charana Renu, Bhajana Anukula, that where he is telling Madhav Tithi, all of these things are Anukul for your bhakti, and Pratikul he is saying Keshavatuva Jagata Vichitra, and all of these other philosophies which are there, Kapila, Patanjali, Gautam, Kanad, etc. They are Pratikul. So he is giving us the template for how we can do Sharanagati. So the next step that we can take is the step of, after our Bali Maharaj decides to give everything in charity to the Lord, the 3 steps he gives. What does Lord do? With the first step he covers from the Patal Loka, from the lower planets to Bhur Loka, and from the next step he covers from the Bhur Loka to the upper planets and to the coverings of the universe. There is nothing more. And when this happens, all the demons out there, they become outraged that he is actually, he deceived us. So they go and attack Lord Vamandev. And then Bali Maharaj stops them. Bali Maharaj tells that you know who this person is? Yaha Prabhu Sarva Bhutanam Sukha Dukha Apapattaye. That this personality you are seeing, he is the source of everyone's happiness and distress. What are you going to attain by fighting with him? Right? He is the one who is giving us all happiness and distress. So surrender to him. So the second thing, the first is do's and don'ts. Second is we all have a survival instinct. That when we are in danger, what do? We hold on to something, we take shelter of something when we are in danger. When we all are looking for 2 things, safety and comfort. Safety is, we want raksha, we want protection, and comfort is, we want to be maintained. So what are the 2 limbs, or the next 2 limbs of Sharanagati? That rakshati iti vishwasa go triptve varanam tatha. That I need protection and I need maintenance, right? And Krishna is going to provide me all shelter, all protection, all maintenance. Krishna is going to give me. And so this survival instinct of a devotee is not to fight against destiny, but to surrender to destiny. That Krishna's plan, let me submit myself to Krishna's plans. We have our do's and don'ts, rights and wrongs. We have our likes and dislikes. We want certain safety, we want certain comfort. But when we come to bhakti, we realize that Krishna is taking care of me. And if I just take shelter of Krishna, whatever is, needed for my protection and safety, Krishna is going to provide it to me. So this mood of a devotee is what is demonstrated by so many devotees. When they are in danger, what do? Arjuna, when the Brahmastra comes, Krishna Krishna Mahabaho, Bhaktanam Abhayankara, Tvam Eko Dahyamananam Apavarg Asi Samshrite. Oh Krishna, this Brahmastra has come, you only can protect me. Although he himself is Mahabaho, but he is asking Krishna. So that is the survival instinct of a devotee. A normal person, the survival instinct is use whatever strength that I have. But Draupadi, what did she do? She came to her natural survival instinct. She was going and asking for help, but then she realized, no, none of them can give me protection. Agre kuruna matha pandavanam dushyasanena hritavastrakesha Krishna tadakrosha dananyanatha govinda damodara madhaveti. Krishna tadakrosh, I am helpless, I am desperate, only Krishna can give me shelter and protection. So the survival instinct of a devotee is the next step we take. That for my maintenance, for my protection, Krishna is going to give me. And sometimes as devotees we feel that, oh, why should I burden Krishna with my protection? Harinam, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is just for prem, attaining prem. For the rest I will take care of. There are so many things. There are astrology, demigods. I will go here and there. But then Chakravarti Thakur says, actually Krishna feels happy when you take shelter of him. In the purport to Sarvadharman, he says, he is like a mother. When a child is in danger, if the child goes to someone else, mother feels, why didn't he come to me? She doesn't feel the burden. So Chakravarti Thakur says, don't lament thinking, oh, I have thrown my burden on my master. Krishna is saying, it is no strain at all for me, O child, who am most affectionate to my devotee. Nothing else remains to be instructed. So this is the mood of Krishna and the mood of the Vrajvasis. That when actually, after following instructions of Krishna, what happened? Indra, he sent thunderbolts, he sent Samvaltaka clouds, he sent all calamities in their lives. They didn't go back to Indra. Oh, maybe we made a mistake by following Krishna. Now let us correct the things. Let us go back to Indra. No. Prapanna Palaya, they just went to take shelter. Whatever safety and comfort we need, Krishna is there. We are not going to go to anyone else. So they went to Krishna. Krishna Mahabaho Twan Natham Gokulam Prabhu. Are you are the master of Gokula. Please protect. And when the devotees say this, Krishna feels, oh, I am supposed to protect them. What is Krishna thinking? Shukdev Goswami tells, Tasmad mad sharanam goshtham mad natham mad pratigraham gopaye swatma yogena soyam me vrata ahita. My vow is there. Ananyas chintayantamam ye jana paripaste tesham nityabhi yuktanam yogakshemam. I have taken a vow. And they are coming to take shelter. Indra, now see what I do. Right? So, when a devotee takes shelter, Krishna feels obliged. When Gajendra took shelter, before he took shelter, Lord says, okay, he is having some struggle in material existence. But when he took shelter, Krishna feels obliged. Now, he is not going anywhere. He is coming to be. Now, it's my responsibility. So, this is the mood of a devotee. Whatever is pleasing, displeasing, likes, dislikes, one doesn't bother. What will happen to my safety and protection? Krishna is there. He will take care of me. And how do we chant in Sharanagati? Because that is the most important for us. We chanted in Sharanagati with the moral compass by whatever is favorable, by prioritizing chanting, in our lives, and whatever is unfavorable, removing it. How do we do chanting in Sharanagati? By helplessly depending on Krishna. We have many problems to solve, many crises at hand. We have many issues we are struggling with. But while we are chanting, if we are chanting in Sharanagati, bead bag, hand in the bead bag, we feel that warmth, protection and comfort. Krishna, I am under your care. Now you take care. I am only going to take care of the sound vibration. Let me postpone all my plans, all my firefighting, crisis handling for future. We offer just as we offer first food as bhoga to the Lord and the rest becomes prasad. We offer the first, the Brahma Muhurat of our day as bhoga to Krishna and the rest day becomes prasad. And that prasadam adhigacchati. And one becomes peaceful, happy, satisfied. So that is the mood of Sharanagati in chanting, that calling out to Krishna helplessly in a mood of dependence, that I only depend on you, on nothing else. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur has again written 8 bhajans, 4 on, Goptraptve, Varanam, how Krishna protects us, Sarvasya Tumar Charane Sampiya, and he has written 4 bhajans on Avaksha Rakshibe Krishna. Ekona Bhujina Prabhu, where he says, Tava Pada Padmanatha Rakshibe Amar, your lotus feet will protect me. This is my confidence. Mare Krishna Rakhe Krishna Mare ke. So this is the confidence of a devotee, depending on nothing else. And the last and final step is something beyond both of these also. We have certain even rights and wrongs. Now we arrive at, okay, what Krishna, what is favorable to my bhakti, that is right for me. What is unfavorable, that is bad or wrong for me. But then there's something which goes even beyond this. There's a higher level of surrender where one doesn't even bother about right and wrong. So the gopis, when they were told by Narad Muni that Krishna is having a headache and no one is ready to give the dust of their feet, the devotees, if they give the dust of their feet, Krishna's headache will be removed. And the gopis didn't even think twice or once. Immediately they scraped off the dust from their feet and offered it to Narad Muni. Narad Muni said, do you understand what are the ramifications? They say, we fully understand. We are going to go and suffer in hell. And it may be an offense, but if it can relieve Krishna's headache, let that right and wrong go to hell. But for us, what bothers and matters is Krishna's, pleasure. So the right and wrong for a devotee becomes what will please Krishna, what will be, pleasing to Krishna. And Govinda, he doesn't consider about right and wrong. He crosses over Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's body to massage him, right? So that is the right and wrong for a devotee. Even though by scriptures it may be wrong, but then for serving Krishna it becomes right. And then the first is the moral compass. Even that one gives up. And the second thing is one's safety and protection. A devotee depends on Krishna. One thinks that this is something, I need some pleasure and I need to avoid pain in life, but such a devotee, he gives up such conception of pain and pleasure. He says, Seva Sukha Dukha Parama Sampad. The Dukha in service to the Lord is my Parama Sampad. That is my real pleasure, real happiness. Even though I may be struggling, I may be having lots of struggles and challenges, Pragada Premete Ei Swabhav Achar Nija Dukha Vigna Adi Na Kare Vichar. Even though I may be going through untold suffering in life, it's all right. Krishna, I am not going to bother you with that. One level, we bother Krishna with that. Krishna, I am suffering. On another level, Krishna, is there any service I can still do for you? Is there some way I can please you even in this condition? And we have umpteen example of devotees even going through life-threatening diseases, cancer, etc. They found ways to serve Krishna even in that. They didn't go to Krishna. Why is it happening to me? You are supposed to be protector. You are supposed to be maintainer. No, Krishna, even in this condition, can I take shelter and serve you? So this is the mood of Yashoda and Vrajvasis. They jump into the Kaliyada, not considering about themselves to protect Krishna. And then we see this is where so far Bali Maharaj had offered his possessions, what is mine. So first we offer what is mine to Krishna, but then there's one thing which he didn't offer, which is his eye to Krishna. So modern philosophy, it divides into three things: ethics, aesthetics, and metaphysics. So ethics is what is right, what is wrong. So devotee's ethics is what will please Krishna. Aesthetics, what is pleasing, what is displeasing, what is beautiful, what is not beautiful. So that for a devotee is whatever is pleasing to Krishna. It may be distasteful, displeasurable for me, that is pleasing to me also. Then, so that once ethics and aesthetics change, and the final is metaphysics. Once metaphysics is your truth, your worldview, your sambandha gyan. So we have our sambandha gyan. I am an Indian, I am an American, I am a male, female, I am an artist, I am a scientist. Whatever our sambandha gyan or designations are, whatever our worldview of the world is, a devotee gives up all one's designations and worldviews and says, I have only one designation, and that is Atma Samarpan, I belong to Krishna. When a devotee does Atma Samarpan, मेरा एक ही designation है, only one identity, I belong to Krishna, I am Krishna's property. And this is what Bali Maharaj did, Atma Samarpan. And he gave not only his mind, but also I to Krishna. And that's where ethics, aesthetics, and metaphysics, everything is offered to Krishna. And that is the stage where Ashilashyava Padaratam begins. What does Vaman Dev do? Bali Maharaj says, Vaman Dev chastises him, first binds him up with the Varuna Pasha, and he chastises him. You are very proud, you are saying that you will give me charity of 3 steps, and you are saying that just don't ask for 3 steps, ask for something more. And you are not even able to give me 3 steps, just 2 steps you could give. And he's chastising him heavily, and everyone is really, terrified. Even after giving so much, Lord is not satisfied. He was saying that just you give little, I'll be satisfied. So, but then what Bali Maharaj does is something, way beyond all understandings of dharma. He says that actually there are many relatives and friends and well-wishers who punish you for your welfare. But actually people don't know what is the welfare. I found you the first person who knows what is my welfare and acted on my welfare, even though you may be criticized for the rest of eternity by people that, oh, you took charity and you snatched everything away from Bali. You are not bothered about that. You are only bothered about that I am a demon, I have false pride. Somehow or the other, you need to remove my false pride, even if your reputation is spoiled. So that is your greatest benediction. And this is where Ashila Shiva Padratam, you kick me or embrace me, I am yours. I belong to you, Krishna. And this is the final, step. And when he does that, Lord says, this is Sharanagati. And Lord glorifies, he doesn't mince word, he glorifies so much Bali Maharaj. He's saying that actually this is after having all of these wealth and everything, you are humble, you are not proud. That is my mercy. So Sharanagati means movement. We need to take these 3 steps towards Krishna, changing our moral compass. Right and wrong is what will please Krishna. My dislikes and likes are not important. My pleasure and pain is not important. What will please Krishna is my survival instinct. I'll take shelter of Krishna. He will protect me. He will give me comfort and safety. And the third thing is, I give up my sense of identity and designation, and I live with just one thing. I belong to Krishna. That's the only possession, that's the only wealth that a devotee claims, and that's the greatest wealth in all of creation. And when a devotee has such mood, then you don't need to move towards Krishna. Krishna comes towards you. Krishna takes those steps towards you, because how much distance can we cover to move towards Krishna with our tiny efforts? But Vaman Dev, when he sees this mood of prapatti in Bali Maharaj, he takes those giant leaps, and that entire distance of the material and the spiritual world becomes in the footprint of a calf, right? That is when we get that shelter, Sharanagati, and ultimately the Vrajavasis, they also did these same things. They first of all changed their moral compass, they depended on Krishna for their protection and comfort, and then finally the shelter of Govardhan, Giriraj Govardhan ki jai is what they received. And so how can we chant in the feeling of Sharanagati, that we call out to Krishna in a mood of affection, Krishna, I am yours. There's a sambandha between us, there's a relationship. It's not just I am just chanting some names, I am addressing you, O Radha Gopinath, O Krishna, I am calling out to you. And when that sense of connection is there, that chanting is no longer mechanical. That chanting has that nectar of Sharanagati in it. And so in essence, what Sharanagati, and Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes 15 songs for this last limb, 7 for Dainya and 8 for Atma Nivedan. Atma Nivedan, he says, Manasa Deho Geho. For Dainya, he writes, Amara Jivan Sada Pape, and so many others. So in essence, Sharanagati is to let go of what we think is ours, and then let God do His will to us. Let us be an instrument. Karishye vachanam tava. Oh Krishna, make me your instrument, make me your puppet. And this is a very lofty topic, but in our own lives, we need this key of Sharanagati desperately. And we can take our tiny steps, and one day with this hope that Krishna, being pleased, will take His steps towards us. Shri Krishna Bhagavan ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.